So good morning, Sean.
Morning, Pat.
And welcome to our interview with MPWR.
Thank you.
Okay. Your first question is, how did you start with Gateway? And how many years have you worked with Gateway?
Okay, well, I've been with Gateway 20 years. This is my 20th year.
Wow.
How did I start? I started with a part-time job in the residential program as the evening staff for the residential program.
Wow. That's good. The next question. What are the supports that are available through your office, Sean?
Okay, so this interview is about my previous office, I'm guessing, was the team lead for the Niagara Assertive Street Outreach team. Just recently been transferred, but in that particular role, the services that we offered were, we had a full 7-day-a-week team, mornings and afternoons, into the evening at 7 and an on-call till 10 for service overall. Our primary goal was to help people that are living rough or unsheltered on the street, provide them with shelter, transportation to shelter. If they were unwilling to take shelter, then provide them with any kind of supplies we could to help them live rough. As well, we would offer identification replacement, so birth certificates, health cards. We could do that right on the street, no charge. We had EMS officers, 2 EMS workers attached to our team, so we could bring them out to offer healthcare to anyone in need of healthcare unsheltered. They also, with us, had a connection to a doctor so that we could also bring a doctor via Zoom, especially during COVID, right to people that are living unsheltered on the street and give them the healthcare they deserve.
Wow, that sounds great, Sean. Next question would be, who are the people you support? That would be these people you just mentioned. But mostly, I think it was, Sean, with you, was homeless and addiction.
Yeah, it's 100% our focus was unsheltered homeless. And with that comes addiction, mental health, all different types of things that could be challenges towards finding housing. But the primary is unsheltered, and with everyone we work with, it was working with people in poverty.
In poverty, yes. Let's see. I guess the people you support, I just said that. So the next question would be, can you talk about your experience in working with the homeless? You just have pretty well, Sean. But I guess we want to know, like, you know, what your, how other ways you can help people with homelessness and that are addiction and those kinds of areas, I guess, the most.
Yeah, well, pretty well the same way we would get our reference or our referrals. Any citizen can call 211 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that'll really help you connect that particular person to any type of service they need. So in our instance, if they were unsheltered, looking for shelter, or just straight to their own apartment, an individual called 211, said that they had come across a person who's unsheltered, where they were, what time of day it was, and hopefully maybe a return call, a phone number so we can call back. Our team would generally respond within 15 to 30 minutes on the phone, and then I'm deployed within the hour. So that's for the homeless services, but that 211 is for every type of service that you could think of. So any government service, any volunteer service, so all the shelters are located through that system. All the services for homelessness, all the services for addictions, mental health, all can be accessed through 211.
Wow, that's amazing. I know, Sean, you've even gone down to cities, like on streets and that, and you've met people and you've helped them that way too, right? That's,
yeah.
That's really
amazing. When we're not taking calls, that is what we do, is we have a specific beat that we've created over the years, and we know where to walk, when to walk, primarily following the food system. So we'll go to breakfast programs, lunch programs, dinner programs. And then we like to start our day at the out of the cold shelters because they're a type of shelter that people leave for the day. So we can't really find them through the day. So we'll start our day there at 7, meet up with everybody that's leaving and offer service then, and come back when they're coming back at 6 p.m. But yeah, we do the beats under the bridge and into the parks and try and engage as much as we can.
Wow. And I guess, Sean, when you talk to these people, like when you're on the road streets, you can provide them with a shelter, like maybe in a hotel or something like that, or?
No, we don't really need hotels. The shelters have been
Okay.
fairly under capacity throughout the winter, throughout the last 2 years. If the shelters are at capacity, we do have an overflow system to take care of that. But we can always provide shelter.
Oh, great. So the next question, what are the difficulties that people are facing right now during COVID?
COVID's created some difficult challenges. A lot of the unsheltered folks would use local businesses to clean up in the washrooms, use their washrooms to go to the washroom. Potable water was very accessible. They could walk into most restaurants. So restrictions have come away a long way now, but in the beginning it was quite difficult. We had to help with cities coordinating outhouses, portable washrooms, and potable drinking water stations and washing stations. So every city in the region was awesome about that and coordinated with our team to find the best locations because there was no access to anything at the beginning of the lockdown.
You're right. It would just be the shelters, right, Sean?
Yeah.
I guess that they can get their wash and.
Yeah, and we did have a percentage of folks that were very fearful of entering the shelter system during COVID, so they did choose to stay outside. And that was the fear of being in a crowded area and contacting the illness. So that's where we had to go with the portable washrooms and the potable water.
Do you think, Sean, sometimes, let's say, for example, here in Niagara Falls, like I'll go around Lundy's Lane there when I go down or up, I still do see people, walking around a little scruffy, and they're carrying a little buggy along or something. And obviously these people, I don't know if they've gotten help or if they still need help, but I still do see them from time to time.
Yeah, and it's more difficult than one would think to visually pinpoint if someone's homeless or not. We have a lot of poverty in the region, and a lot of times people under the poverty line can appear homeless because of their disheveledness or their clothing. We also do have people that are under the poverty line living in a rental unit, however, panhandle to offset that poverty.
Yes,
Not necessarily unsheltered, but still in a dire need of money because of poverty.
So much, Sean. I was going to say, I wanted to add this too, Sean, because I know that I've been adding it all along. For basic income, what's your view on that, Sean? Like for people who are disabled, they've been waiting for this kind of funding for the longest time.
That's a pretty hot political question. Basic income, I feel like if you are in a rent guaranteed income apartment, the amount that you're getting from ODSP is not great, but sufficient. The amount you get on Ontario Works is not even sufficient in a rent guarantee income, and that's why we do see folks having to panhandle.
Yes, and a lot of problems with rent and all that, Sean.
Rent is very, very expensive in a free market. In the free market, it's almost unaffordable on Ontario Works.
You're right. Yes.
Getting to that point on Ontario Disability, the market has raised substantially over the last 6 years, and income has not changed at all.
And Sean, these days too, we've just heard that everything has gone up, skyrocketed, from food to gas to clothing, whatever. And it's even harder these days, I think, for people with disabilities, like
Yeah.
on ODSP and, and Ontario Works. Is there anything you could suggest, Sean? Like, do you have any thoughts of what the government could do?
Really, the best thing they could do is to build more affordable housing. And when I say affordable housing, I mean specifically affordable to folks on ODSP, OW, CPP, not affordable based on someone making 60,000 a year.
No.
But that term is thrown around like that, affordable housing, as I want affordable housing. I work a full-time job, but I want an affordable mortgage.
Affordable housing, that's right.
But that's not what I'm talking. What I'm talking about, rent geared to income, 100% geared to income. So if your income is that low, your rent is also that low.
That's right, Sean. I would say even Niagara housing, right, Sean?
So that's the kind of Cadillac model we have here. The regions also come out with Housing First, Home for Good, Gateway, CMHA have Ministry of Health types of services that are supported for special, particular groups of folks. But the Niagara housing is just based on income. We need more of that. And the region has really stepped forward. They couldn't build it quickly. So they came out with rent subsidies, which are kind of an adequate substitute. And they'll offer someone on ODSP something like $350 to $450 a month towards their rent in a free market unit. So that does bring it close to the rent geared to income.
Yeah.
And it's a quick turnaround because they really opened that program within 60 days.
Yeah, wow.
And it started housing people. And in last year, I believe the numbers were about 200 across the region that they were able to place.
Wow, that's pretty good, Sean. Well, we've come to the last question. What do you do for fun, Sean?
What do I do for fun? Like to garden, I guess, what you would call it. Vegetable garden. Definitely one of my favorite hobbies. I've also done quite a bit of volunteer work with community gardens and farms, which is also very fun because you get to teach people what you like to do.
That's
and
right.
in this day and age, with the price of groceries, it's also economical.
Everything going up, Sean. Yeah, I know. I guess that's pretty well it, Sean. So you have a good day. Thank you for coming to our interview this morning. And we enjoyed having you, Sean.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, Pat, and have a great day.
No problem. You too.